Good evening and welcome to another training episode. Today we're going to cover our advanced commission policy. And you need to understand what advanced commissions means, how it works. So we're going to touch on it briefly. First of all, read what it says here. Advanced commission is a grant by continuous pre-need production and not a debt for service. The decision to advance commission is based on following prerequisites. Now, when you write a contract, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're entitled to advance commissions. However, we structure a system so that we will advance you monies on these contracts. Now, bear in mind that these people have not paid any cash on it. In most cases, you just came in with some paper and we're advancing you cash. Well, the reason we do that is because we know that you need money to operate with, so we make sure you have it, but don't think that it's something that's owed to you. It's not owed to you. It's simply, as it reads here, it's a grant guaranteed by continuous pre-need productivity and not a debt for service. It's not a debt for service, but it is something that you're going to guarantee and that you're going to produce more business because that business could cancel. And if it does, then, there's a chargeback situation, but we set up chargeback accounts where 20% of what you purchase is placed into a cancellation account until you have a total of $5,000 in that account. And then if you have a cancellation that comes in, that cancellation comes out of your cancellation account and not your paycheck for that week. So let's take a look at the advanced commissions and how it's based on. Now, as a manager, if you're working with a team, we want you to produce a minimum of 3 contracts per week. 3 contracts per week. And we want you to maintain a sales volume of $10,000 in pre-need sales. Thirdly, you need to submit a weekly activity report. And pre-need sales require ongoing production to offset cancellations and chargebacks, which I just covered with you. So these are the prerequisites that we have for you to adhere to, the 4 actually, to adhere to guarantee continual advanced commissions. Now, you can read the rest of this for yourself it's right there in your kit. The other form that you will be filling out and turning in with your contract is the customer survey form. Now, the management of Alpha Omega Transport System, in an effort to improve customer service, requests that this survey form accompany your paperwork and be answered by each client presented as verification of your presentation. Thank you, Reverend Maxwell. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to the survey form, the main thing for this form is this line here. Even though the questions ask, how would you rate your agent on a scale of 1 to 10? That's good. That lets us know, how they feel about these agents, and 1 being poor, 10 being excellent. So secondly, why did or did you not make pre-need arrangements? And if they did make arrangements, and they'll tell you why they didn't make it, then you may have an opportunity to go back and answer that not question and turn them around. Now, the number 3 is, would you recommend this program to your friends? Now, the reason you want to use this particular form for friends, is because you want them to give you referrals. Give them referrals. And we'll talk about how you get referrals. You simply sit down and you take a sheet of paper and you ask if they have brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, aunts, and so forth, and you write that stuff down, okay? You don't give that to them. Don't give them a piece of paper and say, write them down. You take the time to write them down, and you want to get an average of about 10 referrals per contract you turn in. Now, I have written as many as 87 referrals on one sale, and actually it was a whole bowling team. So people will give you stuff. Now, there's a chapter in my book, How to Make the Next Sale in Advance, and it's done by using referral techniques to get referrals. Now, Number 4 is a term that we kind of invented to help explain the difference between what they are paying for a product and what it sells for. Now, you want to read this to them. Now, did you explain, or did the agent explain the actuarial underwriting configuration? Now, underwriters, actuarial underwriting configurations are the numbers and the difference between what the program was sold for and what they will pay for the program over the designated period of time. For example, they may have it set up for 5 years, but if they set up for 5 years, there's going to be a difference between what they paid for and what they pay for in the 5 years, or 7 years, or 10 years. But one of the things is they don't have to take an entire 10-year period to pay off a program. You know, they can pay it off sooner, and you want to, because the longer they do, the larger the actuarial underwriting configurations will be. And the question is, do you understand what this means? Now, what you're going to need to do is when you do a contract, you're going to sit down there with them and you're going to multiply the monthly payments times 12, whatever the monthly payment is, times 12, and then times the number of years. For example, 10 years. Now, you want to do this in front of them because when you do that, the number is going to be different, much different than what you quoted them for a cash price. Now, but you want to make sure that you indicate to them and have them agree about this, that they're not going to take 10 years to pay this program off, or 7 years. Because if they pay 7 years, pay this much amount per month, then this is what they're going to pay back, which will be fair than what the amount was that the cash price is. So you make sure that they understand that you just set it up like that so that they could have smaller payments. It's not necessary for them to pay that like that, but again, you want to pay it off before the entire period of time elapses, so you don't have to pay those actuarial underwriting configurations. Make sure that you go through with them. Now, the next thing is, would you like to contribute or make a contribution, no cost, to your church? And if they said yes, then you want to get the church's name, pastor's name, and we will set up a church program with them, and we will give them a contribution off of every pre-need sale that comes out of that church. And so that's what that part is for. Now, please add any comments that you would like to share, and they can do that as well. Now, these are the points that I'd like to emphasize on these 2 pages. Your supervisor, your manager, they'll be able to go in more detail about these forms. We want to make sure that these forms accompany your contract, mainly because we want to make sure that you did go through the actuarial underwriting configurations with them. And you'll have any questions. The questions that you have with that, your directors and your managers will be able to answer those for you. Nice talking to you.